Hello. So I've just watched Lavender and Leek's video on what to do in the garden or allotment in March. So it sort of gave me the inspiration to go through my seed box and see what I could plant out in March. So I've just got these two piles out and I'm just going to go through them and sort of have a look at what we're going to plant out in some different pots around the garden. Some of these sort of early varieties that I can plant out now and that I'll plant in succession over the next few months. So this will be sort of an early crop. Pretty much all of them will be sown indoors, and there's a few that can go outdoors straight away. So I've got two piles. I've got some flowers and I've got some vegetables. So first pile is the flowers. So I've got some cornflower double blue, and these were from Wilkinson, and I got these last year. So these can go outdoors in March. So I'll be plant these in a pot. So I'm going to plant them in some pots for the to go on the decking. I've got some Marigold, so these can go outside as well, I think. So they might need to be covered for a little while, but they can go out. I've got some Chamomile, which was grown before. Used to grow this in pots, and it actually self-set a lot around our old garden. So this can go straight outdoors, and we have used this for tea in the past. So I might do that again, make tea out of it. Got some sunflowers. Every year I keep meaning to plant out some sunflowers, and I always forget to do it in time. So these can go straight outside, I think. So I might plant these out around the garden, maybe along the back of the fence of the garden. Choose somewhere to put them. How big are these? So these grow about 2 to 2.5 meters. So they're quite tall ones. They're a giant yellow variety. So hopefully they'll be quite big. And the last flower I've got is a Sarah Raven's globe thistle. I quite like these sort of big sort of globe shaped flowers. These are quite tall, I think, and they're good for the bees. So I'll sow these indoors to start with in a tray, and then sort of split them up when they're big enough to handle, and acclimatise them outside. These are from the end of last year. I bought these, so they'll be ready to go out. I've not tried those before, so it'll be interesting to see. Probably end up putting these in a big pot, I think, or maybe out the front. They'll look good with the lavender and the rosemary out the front. So I could actually plant them out the front somewhere if I can find a little place. So that's all them. It's all the flowers. So that's some pots and things. And then the other bits I've got is some fruit and some veg. I've got some. I bought last year. I bought some compost bags for tomatoes. So I'm going to use them this year and try and grow a few tomatoes along the kitchen wall. It gets quite warm where the sun hits the wall. So these are quite old, so they might not grow that well. So I'm probably going to buy another packet to do as well. But these are some tomato seeds. So I'll plant these indoors in a tray and put a lid on them as well, so they can sort of stay really warm. So I'll plant them up now, and then I'll plant some more in a few weeks as well. See how they get on. I'm not sure whether to plant these or not. These are onions. These are just little spring onions. We have a lot of chives in the garden that just grow everywhere. But sometimes we do use spring onions quite a lot in recipes. So these can be sown straight outdoors, I think. Yeah. So yeah, so I might plant some of these behind the shed in the little bed, just see if they grow, or in a pot. It's nice to have around. They're quite easy to grow, so they're no bother. Here's some lettuce. I grew some in this packet last year, so again it's an old packet, so I might have to buy a new packet as well, but it's worth a go. I like to use them all up. There's a lot in here still actually. So yeah, just one variety of, oh no, sorry, it is a mixed green salad. Yeah, just sort of basic lettuce leaves. We grew and ate a lot last year in pots on the decking and around the garden. It worked really well. It's really nice just to be able to go out and cut it. It's a really cheap way of growing it, eating lettuce and things as well. Just really easy to grow. And you get so many seeds that it really doesn't matter if it doesn't grow that well. I tend to do it so I just fill up a pot and only grow it quite small, so I just cut and come again. I don't grow like big lettuces. I just cut off the little leaves when they're quite tender and small. I find that quite a nice way to eat them. And the same with these peas. So last year I planted a load of these peas in a large pot, and I just ate the shoots. There was a few pea pods came on them, but mainly I just ate the shoots, cut them off as they were quite young. It's quite nice in salads. So yeah, I just planted a whole load of them, sort of probably half the packet still in there. So these can go straight outdoors from February onwards. So and it looks like it's about 3 months till they're ready to fully grown, but they'll probably be shoots in 6 weeks or so, I'd imagine. So yeah, I'll plant them in a pot again, put them somewhere sunny. Hopefully we'll have some of them to eat in sort of late spring. These 3 packets are Italian packets. These were sent over by my in-laws. So obviously a lot of the instructions are in Italian, but luckily there is some in English as well. So I'm not sure how well they'll grow in the UK climate, but I'll give them a go. So this one is Radicchio Lettuce, a mix of different types of lettuce, I think. So it says they can go straight out in February. Obviously in Italy it's a bit warmer, so they might not work that well. But I'll give it a go. Again, I'll just put these in a pot and see how well they grow. And from the same range, got some long radishes, so they're quite, whereas a lot of radishes are round, these are quite deep, quite long. And again, they can go out now straight into a pot. At least a pot, growing in a pot, it is actually a bit warmer because the pot retains some heat, and the sun hits the side of the pot as well, warms up the soil. So yeah, I'm going to give those a go. We don't eat loads of radishes. I don't think most people do, but they're really easy to grow. Quite nice that they come up really quickly and you can just chuck them in salads and stuff. I did try roasting some last year. And that's quite nice. Nice chopped up in different meals. And then the classic courgettes or zucchinis. We eat millions of courgettes and the flowers as well. So yeah, these again, so they can go out in February. It's quite early for a courgette plant. I think I've got 2 other types. I've got some darker skinned courgette seeds as well, and another English packet of seeds that sort of plant out a bit later. So I'm going to plant these ones out now. I might plant a few in pots in the house and let them grow, and I'll plant some outside and see how they go. Just trial and error really. Yeah, so I'll try them, see how early they come up. It's always nice to try different varieties, see how well they do in your sort of area, and in pots or in the ground. Last year some of my courgettes did really well in one corner. sort of biggest plants I've ever had in one corner, and in the other corner of the garden they didn't do well at all. So I have to keep sort of trying different areas of the garden and different ways of growing them and things. But yeah, I'll try and grow loads of courgettes again, some in pots, some in the ground. We had loads off the plants last year, and they were really good. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. Yeah, so I'm going to go and start planting some of these up, and I'll perhaps film planting some of them up and how they're getting on. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some fresh veg and flowers in a few weeks' time.